Besides for being a world-renowned Talmid Chacham, Rabbi Brisman was our Rebbe. A father, Chazal tell us, brings us into this world. A Rebbe is able to bring us to the next world. But not just for Elkins Park. He was there for the entire Philadelphia community. His guidance, his wisdom was accessible and utilized by the entire community at large. Help us honor his memory and dedicate his shul, his beis medrash, in his honor.
We met in 1976. I was still a student at Royers Seminary, and Rabbi was a student in Lakewood Yeshiva, and my brother introduced us. The shul had just opened, and it wasn't really an established place yet, and they thought that hiring a rabbi would be a good idea, and that's how we essentially heard about us, and people came up and asked Rabbi Brisman if he would be willing to come by and for Shabbos and to be interviewed for the job.
Shortly after assuming the position of Rav of our shul in 1986, Rabbi Brisman asked me if I wanted to learn with him. Not a hard decision to make. We maintained a learning seder once or twice per week until he retired 30 years later. I am so grateful to have had the opportunity to spend that time with him.
I grew up here in Elkins Park. I've been going to the Young Israel ever since I was a little boy. I knew Rabbi Brisman my entire life. He was the synagogue at my bris. He came to my bar mitzvah. He was a part of our wedding.
I had the honor to meet Rabbi Brisman before we got married, and he was an integral part of our life after we were married. And when we were talking about where we wanted to raise our family and have our children, we knew we wanted it to be in Elkins Park. Rabbi Brisman was extremely warm and dedicated to Yiddishkeit, and we knew that that was the type of community that we wanted to be a part of.
And since moving here in 2015, the shul has grown tremendously. More programs, families coming in, and one of the additional steps to make our community even better is this fundraising campaign to beautify the shul a little bit, and it's very, it's perfect that it's dedicated to Rabbi Brisman, who established the foundation of our shul, and Mirz Hashem, we should continue to grow the shul, for it to be warm, welcoming, and inspiring in Rabbi Brisman's name, and his neshama should have an aliyah.
My husband and I were looking for a place to live, and we were looking all over the 10-mile radius. And I said, why am I looking anywhere else but Elkins Park? My rabbi lives there. So we're here for 15 years, and now Rabbi Goldstein has taken over, and he also has patience and will answer any question you have from A to Z, and it's so wonderful. But now we need to fix our shul because we're growing. There's young families, there's babies, there's carriages, and we just want it to look beautiful for all the new families that are moving into our community.
Rav Hakamas Matseva was last week, and it really felt so heartwarming to know how many members of the shul that have made Aliyah to Eretz Yisrael, and people here in California and New York and all these other places have written to me and told me how much Rabbi Brisman has meant to them.